here's my presentation on passing notes and giving speeches. Hi, I'm Annie Palider, and this year I am the Chief Historian of the Model United Nations Club. Today I will highlight the important things to know for note passing and speeches. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments or through my email, apalider@stlawrence.com. Note passing, in person and virtually. What is note passing in Model UN? Throughout different committees, it is important to pass notes to other delegates. These notes can be anything from asking them to talk during the next unmod to seeing if they will be a signatory on your next resolution. Note passing is simply just writing something down and sending it to another delegate. Note passing is a key action that can get other delegates on your side. Here's an example of what a note should sound like. Hello, Dominican Republic. Great speech. We really agree with your ideas on currency reform. Can you explain that last part on trade tariffs a little? Also, we should work together during the next unmod for sure. Sincerely, Honduras. This note completely directs who it's from and who it is to, and it gets clearly to the point on what they are asking of them. This is why it's a good example of a note. How to write a good note. Keep your notes short but informative. No one is going to want to read a paragraph, and no one is going to go out of their way to work with you if your note is confusing and doesn't say what you want them to do. Make sure you address them by their position and to restate yours in case they don't know where the note came from. Immediately state what you would like the other delegates to do in order to avoid confusion and loss of interest. Speak in formal and appropriate words to keep everything professional. Keep your writing neat and big enough for the receiver to see and understand. Make sure you include both delegates' names on the outside of the note in a to-from format. This is very important because, especially in person, notes are constantly circulating, and you have to make sure that it gets to the delegate you are sending it to. Virtual notes. In modern times, not everything can be done the way it was before. This year, Model UN committees and conferences will be hosted online, meaning online notes will need to be sent during committee. Everything differs a little bit from platform to platform, but from in-person to virtual, everything pretty much stays the same. Just like normal conferences, it is important to follow guidelines and keep your notes coming in and out moving fast. There are two platforms that are commonly used in Model UN committees. It is Zoom and Gatherly. In Zoom, just like in school, notes can be passed through the chat function and using private chat to certain delegates. This will be the main note passing guidelines unless your chair instructs you otherwise. Through Gatherly, in the rare occasion Gatherly would be used, note passing is through their own chat function where you can click on a person and automatically send them a message. How to write a virtual note. Depending on your typing skills, the new way to pass notes could be positive or negative. Nothing really changes format-wise, but there is an extra precaution to make sure you send your note to the right person. You don't want to make the mistake of accidentally sending it to the wrong person and it ruining your whole plan for the committee. Don't let technology scare you into not writing notes, though. Keep them moving constantly throughout committee. Speeches, in person and virtually. Speeches in Model UN are very stressful to most people. You have to think on the spot and make sure people remember what you say. This is a key element the chairs take into consideration for awards, because they hear every single speech. In committee, the more you talk, the better. Everyone gets kind of scared for public speaking, and conferences being virtual does not help abolish this fear. It is important to speak as much as possible in committee because it will not only improve your image in the chair's eyes, but improve your delegation skills as well. Things to remember while making a speech. Keep your information to the point, but be bold with what you say. Make sure what you say is memorable to the other delegates and the chairs. The more people remember you, even if you say things that are bold, the better chance you have at awards. Have confidence in what you say. If you are unsure, quiet, or your voice is shaky, other delegates may refrain from working with you because they will see other people who are more confident in what they are saying. You can bring your notes with you, just don't read them word for word. This means that you can use notes for your speech, but not to read them word for word because typically chairs do notice when you are doing this. Virtual speeches are similar to normal ones. However, one key factor with virtual speeches is to make sure you do not have background noise while speaking. This means controlling a barking dog or making sure your family around you is not speaking. Even though it may be easy to be quiet and stay muted, that will not help you at all in the long run. Make sure you speak extra clear and show more confidence online than you would typically in person. Make sure you are not laying in bed or half asleep because the chair will notice these things. Here is a video I made of different types of speeches. Here's an example of a good opening speech.
Hello, delegates. My name is Dr. Fauci, and as we are debating the coronavirus today, I would like to warn everyone this is an extremely dangerous disease that will only get worse if we ignore it. I suggest that we make wearing a mask a law, at least until further notice, and make more restrictions saying where people can and cannot go, so we can keep everyone safe.
Here's an example of a bad opening speech.
Hi everyone, so I'm Dr. Fauci. So I'm a doctor and I know what I'm talking about. And honestly, coronavirus, I feel like as long as you're safe about it and don't get it, just don't be an idiot and go and get it and spread it, but
I'm going to pause that there, but this is a bad speech because the speaker is laying in bed, half asleep, not embodying the delegate they have, and is not speaking very clearly. You can tell they do not have confidence in what they're saying, and the chair will notice this, just like we all have in this moment. Virtual note passing and speeches are not very different from in person overall. Practicing Model UN skills like note passing and speeches can help you incredibly. Simple tips like using a proper heading in a note to making a bold first impression in a speech can make all the difference in committee. Practice makes perfect, and the more you work on these skills, the more natural they will become to you. Here's an example of an activity we did when we presented these presentations live. We had the group of people each say a little speech explaining why they should be homecoming king or queen, and then for 4 minutes after that, we allowed everyone to pass notes to try to get people to vote for them. After this, we all voted and came up with our winners. This was a great example and helped people get used to speaking and passing notes to each other. Thank you all so much for listening, and if you have any questions, you can comment below or email me at apalider@stlawrence.com or the St. Lawrence Model UN email. Thank you.